This
Fine.
conference will now be recorded.
So we'll quickly go over what are all things we have done from a setup perspective and making sure that we have required um, softwares in our mission, right? So we have the K6 installation as talked about, right? You can just download the K6 from the internet or from my drive, and it's just a 3-4 steps. The K6 will get installed. Okay, and the same thing with the visual code as well. It is there in my laptop. You can definitely download the same thing from my drive or from the internet. And yesterday we just ran a very simple API script, and we validated K6 is working. So we took a get API, post API from the pet store Swagger, and we generated the script in the cloud, and then we copied it, and then we just did a simple run, and that is what we did from a validation perspective. And also the K6 cloud setup is also we did, right? So you can use your own Gmail to register it, and you would be able to create a project, and then create a test script. That is also we did it yesterday, right? So additionally, when it comes to microservices scripting, it is more like you build it on your own, right? You look into the documentation, so the Swagger documentation or any other open API documentation, or you get these details from your developer, and you want to build it. But whereas for the web application, where there will be a user interface, you open the app in the Chrome, and you need to browse through various pages, right? It is not just a get and post call. It is more of your HTML page. So for that, you need to install additional plugin so that you can record the flow. Right? So you might have seen recording the way it is happening in the LoadRunner or Jmeter. For your K6, you need to install a Chrome plugin. Okay, so go to the Google and then type in K6 Chrome extension. Okay, so just install the K6 browser recorder. Okay, so once you install you just need to click install it to get installed, right? And then you can go to the extension. It will be here. Okay, so from here you click this. So before you wanted to start recording a flow, right? Click this and say start recording. Okay, then you can go and say online boutique.dev. So in the top it says K6 browser recorder started debugging this browser. Okay, and then click sunglass, and then come down, do an add to cart. So only difference is you probably people who have used LoadRunner, right? There you will be able to go and give the transaction names, some comments, all these things you can give it. Here you don't have those provision, so you will just keep recording it. Okay, add to cart, and then all these things are pre-populated, and then say place order. Now order is complete. Continue shopping, and then you can go and cancel it. So once you cancel it, automatically what will happen is your browser plugin will translate all the recording. It will import your recording to your app.k6.io, right? So you do a recording using the extension, and once the recording is completed, automatically it will transfer the whatever recorded script to your app.k6.io, right? So if you see here, if you come down, you can go and do a save. It is automatically, it will disable the third-party domains like gstatic.com, stackpath, fonts.google API, right? Which is not required for our load testing. So it is by default, it is disabling it. Okay? If you want to enable, you can enable also, but normally we don't need those third-party calls to be there in our system. Okay, automatically it is also generating a sleep, kind of a think time, right? Between each page, it will automatically insert your sleep as well, and also it will try to correlate some of the variables, which the cases thinks that it has to be correlated. So you can just add this checkbox, okay, and then save it. Okay, so then we will go into the detail of UI recording and enhancements later, but this is more of a check, your checklist, right? When you start beginning your practice, you will go through this handbook. This handbook will be available in the drive as well. So you just go through one by one so that you know that, okay, I've done these things. My laptop is ready for me to do the proper practice. So for that, we have completed the this, right? So you have this page name, get calls, and then you have whatever you have recorded, right? Whatever you have done. Page 2, page 3. Page 3 is your cart, adding to a cart, and then if you come down, you have page 4, where is a checkout, right? And in the checkout, you can see that something got some variables got created. So automatically it will try to do all these. In the body, if you see, in the body there are. Let's go and look in the script directly. I think I couldn't able to scroll down because of my mouse is not working properly, right? So whatever you recorded, everything is now part of this builder. And then if you go and just click this into a script, right? Now you will see that there is a page 1, and then you have page 2 with product ID, and then some correlations are there. And then if you come down, checkout with all the credit card details, email ID, address, right? So it has captured everything, right? And finally, you're back to your main page, right? So every request which you have navigated through, every page you have navigated through, got recorded, and there are sleeps, think times. So most of these things are captured in the script. From here, you'll go and do the enough. You'll just copy it and then take it to your visual code. Then you will do parameterization, correlation, error handling, all other things that is required for the script to work. Right. So again, this is just to make sure that we have this installation checklist to be validated. We have installed the plugin, we have recorded and validated whether the requests are getting captured in your via your plugin. Right. So these things, yeah, please do it in your laptop as well, and make sure that you have a working setup for you to practice. Okay. Next, I think this one we saw yesterday. We have ran the case script from the local, and we didn't see any report, but it didn't throw any error, right? It got executed. If you remember, if I go to Visual Code Studio and then K6 run your demo script is what I ran it yesterday. If I run it, it will just start executing it, and you will not have any live monitoring. We haven't enabled anything, right? We will do it later, but the script is running. and probably after a couple of seconds, you will see that I think I have kept a 20 iteration, so it is running for 13, 14, 15, maybe a few more seconds. Yeah, it is done. So here, if you see here, it says that there are the checks are passed, and then just a very plain text is what you see it, right? As part of the report, data sent, data received, HTTP block, HTTP connection, waiting. So all these things you get it as a raw output, right? Number of users, number of iterations, all these things, but you don't get a proper report. That we'll see how to enable the proper reporting later. But your K6 local runs. Now, for me to run the same script I can also run the script from the cloud. Okay, so to run the same script in the cloud, there are a couple of things you have to do it. One, within the script, right? You should say what is your project ID. So you go to your app.k6.io, okay, and here our project name is this K6 Training July batch, right? So you have to copy this project ID and then put here this project ID and give a name for that. The name can be anything. Name is more as a placeholder. You can give whatever name you want, okay, but the project ID should match with this project ID. Okay, that's additional thing you need to add it in the script in the top. Before scenarios, you have to add this. Okay, and then first thing what you have to do is you have to connect your local Visual Studio Code. You need to connect this console to your cloud. For that, you need to use this command. See, all these things will be there in the if we go to the drive. Okay, all the commands. There's something called cheat sheet is there. If you open this cheat sheet, okay, so you will have everything, all the commands that is required for execution, for thresholds, from reporting, data library, logs, getting how to get a logs, correlation library. So all these things which will be required for you to use it in your K6, I have created in the this cheat sheet in the K6 drive. Okay, so here the first thing is to connect your Visual Studio Code console to your cloud. You have to use a command called K6 login followed by cloud -t, and then this is the kind of a user ID password. Okay, this user ID password will be unique for every user, right? So you have to go to your app.k6, okay, and then you have to go to your here, and there's something called API token. Okay, this API token you have to copy it. Okay, your API token allows you to run cloud test from the CLI, linking the run to your account. Okay, so you copy this and then go to your Visual Studio Code and then say K6 login cloud -t, and then you are going to enter it. Now it says logged in successfully, token saved. Okay, now you can go and execute your test using, instead of K6 run, it is K6 cloud. K6 cloud followed by your demo script intro.js. Okay, so you can go and run this. Okay, if you go to this your app.k6 and then go to your here, if you see here, there is something called demo script, right? And you see here there's one test already executed at 29 June 13:59, and now if you see there's it says initializing setting up test. So what the here if you see it says initializing. right? So the test is getting initialized in the cloud, and still it is initializing. Maybe after a couple of seconds, it will start running. Okay, so from your local, you can directly run your test in the cloud. Okay, so it will probably take a couple of seconds to get initialized. Because it has to find out a load generator, and then it has to upload the script, and then it has to execute it. Okay, now it says it is running, right? Let me go into this. So now advantage of running a cloud, if you see, by default, you have an UI where you could able to monitor your test. But whereas here, running the test in the console directly, you didn't have an option. We have a workaround which we will look into it. We can still get a kind of a similar view in Grafana that we'll look into it later. But by default, your cases will not have an user interface GUI to monitor your test. Whereas we have run it in the cloud, you see your number of requests, response time over the chart, response time chart, and if you come down, you get your summary of your URL, your number of past, average response time, right? All these things you get it here, right? So it is still running it. I think we have kept 20 iterations, so it will probably, I think it is completed. It is saying it is finalizing the test. Right. So now the test is it is still finalizing. If you go to the completed test, right? You go to the this will show you all the previous test for the particular scenario. If you go here, you will get a complete report of your test run, right? All your URLs, your response times, your checks. If you have thresholds, everything will be available here. That's the difference between running a test in the cloud versus your running it in the local. Okay, running it in the local, it doesn't have default monitoring, but we will introduce InfluxDB and Grafana later, through which you can pretty much achieve what you want from a monitoring and reporting perspective. Okay, yeah. So this is again one more validation. You can do it as part of your checklist, right? Running your cases in local and as well as in the cloud. For the cloud, you just need to include the project ID. That is the first thing. Okay, and then you need to connect your local console with your cloud. For that, you will give this command and then give the API key. Once done, then you will be able to execute it using K6 Cloud. Okay, so that validation as well, you need to do it as part of the setup. Once you do all these things, now you're ready to go and practice the all your scripts and execution. This alone, we will look into it later after all the scripting part is done. When we go to execution, we will set up the Influx and Grafana. This is not required for the scripting phase, or while we learn the scripting, this is not required. Okay, yeah, right. So so we'll get into the second, the actual part of our sessions. Okay, today we'll probably not spend too much of time because still people are registering it. I expect people to complete the registration by today or before tomorrow. Okay, so we'll keep this probably a little bit shorter duration, but from tomorrow and definitely from Monday, we will not wait for 5 minutes or 6 minutes. We'll just maybe give a minute and then we'll get started. So that we will make use of the complete 1 hour session effectively. Okay, I'll keep it very short today. We'll not go into detail. So first thing what we'll see is the structure of your K6 script. Okay, if you have used LoadRunner, you know that in the view generate, you will have init, you will have action, you will have user end, and you have your runtime settings, you have parameter settings. So that's how it is segregated in your load runner, right? But when you look into your case 6, everything is going to be within the script, be it as a scenario in terms of number of users, ramp up, ramp down, think time, your data declaration, your CSV files or JSON input files, everything will be inside the script. Okay. Um, if you want to classify your case script, right? There will be in it where you provide your scenario details, right? As I said, your number of users, your ramp up, ramp down, all these things will be part of your scenario, and then followed by your data file declaration as well, right? All your input files, input file path, right? From where to read the CSV, from where to read the JSON, all the data file declaration will be following your scenario. And then there is something called VU code stage, user code stage, where you will have your actual um, actions, script actions, right? Your Get API or Post API or your launch, your research, all the script that has to be executed for your business flow, that will be there inside your VU code stage. That is how your every visual, every case scripts are going to be structured, right? So if you look into a sample, right, you have your imports, then you have your thresholds, you will have your scenario settings, right? Number of users, ramp up, ramp down, everything. Okay, and then let me go to the file where I might have some input files. So once again, not here. Just give me a second. Open file. Okay, 6. So if I have any input files to be given, it will also be part of the your after the scenario, right? You will be providing your CSV files, input files. Okay, it is more from a structure perspective. I will get into detail one by one, but more from a structure perspective, you will have your inputs. I'll tell you what is imports and your scenario setting, and then followed by your input file, and then followed by your actual script. That is how your every script is going to get structured. Okay, so what is import? Okay, so for you're not going to write every piece of your code by yourself, right? For including a think tank, for doing some parsing, for doing some string tokenization, to do the correlation, to read a CSV file, right? For doing all these things, you need a code, right? You need a code which you have to write on your own. Instead of that, K6 as set of functions. Those functions are going to be within certain libraries. Okay, so there are libraries available through which you will be able to do all these activity, right? Like correlation by passing the HTML, and then for reading your CSV file, or to do your get call, post call, or to use think times to make a transaction pass or fail, right? All these are your libraries. default k6 library, k6/data, k6/execution, k6/html, k6/http. If you see the script, right? If I go here in the top, I will have all these declared, right? I'm importing the sleep, group, check, fail from k6. I'm importing HTTP from, to do any HTTP call for making any HTTP dot, this is the URL, right? For using my HTTP dot get, I need a function. So I need to have all this import declared on the top for doing some reporting, to do a text summary, to pick a random data from a correlation, to parse the HTML, right? Everything you need a import. Okay, so how to remember this? You no need to remember this actually, because there are going to be 10-15 imports that is required for your project, right? You might use only 3, you might use only 4. So you can just go and use, put all the import statement, and then probably comment out whatever you don't need it, right? So there are going to be 15-20 imports. I have listed the most of the frequently used imports here. In the script also you will find all this import used here and there, right? So imports are like you are going to reuse the libraries written by your k6 itself, or some of the open source libraries. If you see here, it is imported from j6 library.k6, and for HTML I'm importing it from raw.github-user-content.com, k6.html. All these things are all recommended by the k6 itself. Okay, all these are genuine libraries recommended by k6. Okay, so import is the first section will be there. You can just copy paste all these things, whether you're going to use it or not for the learning purpose. But during your actual project execution, unnecessarily we don't need to import multiple things, right? We'll just import whatever we want. Otherwise, unnecessary imports, unnecessary memory usage of your script. So we'll not import the unwanted things. Okay. Yeah, so this import is going to be your first thing that is going to appear in the your top of your any script. Okay, and there is going to be one more import. These imports are common import. Okay, few imports will be, say you have created a script. Okay, you have created a login script, for example. Okay, and your other scripts are going to be, say, guest checkout, member checkout, order summary. You might be creating so many other scripts, and this login is going to be your reusable, right? This login script you can use it, reuse it in other scripts as well, because login is the first activity, right? Without login you cannot do anything else. So what you will do is, I'll again tell all these things later in detail. When it comes to the one more import is, you can import your script itself. Okay, you can import the login script, which you will separately create it. Your script itself also you can import it. Okay, so from, you will provide your JS file name. So import probably you will say that scenario 1 from demo underscore intro.js. Okay, so if you have the JavaScript in the same folder, and if you have a function called scenario1, you will import it, so that those can be reused in the your script. I'll exactly tell you how it is going to work when we go to that section. But what I'm saying is, there are going to be two imports. One import is importing the common libraries from my external files, external libraries. One is your own script, also you can import it. Okay, it is more of a reusing your other script which you created for a login or a logout. Common functions like login and logout, you will create it separately and you can import it, right? You don't need to write the code every time in every script. So it is more of a reusable import. You are going to do it. Yeah. So that is more from a structure of your cases, right? You'll have imports followed by your scenario description, your data file declaration, and then your scripting. So rest of the things we'll look into it in detail when we go to each of this activity, each of these script. But the import is something I want to tell you today because that is the first part that will be there in your script, any script. Okay. I'll take a pause here. If there are any questions on the on today's session or previous session or in general, yeah, feel free to ask.
Hi Satish.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, start of the session, you showed us like how we use the browser plugin to record one flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, I mean, I mean, once we have completed the recording, the I mean the script was there inside that app.k6.io, right?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. So does it mean like when we are trying to record any browser related thing, then we definitely should be having a I mean a in app, I mean login credentials in this app K6IO?
There are two options available. Okay. One, yes, that is the best way to do it, so that it will get converted into a script directly. Okay. Or there's one more option is in the case explorer recorder. Okay. You can download the R file. Okay. So if I go to here and then online voting.dev, okay, and I do these things, okay, and then go ahead and start the recording. So I do this, then this is the alternate option in case, I mean, you don't have an option where you can you can log into app.k6 is not possible. Then the alternate option is you can download this R file. Okay, so once you download this R file, there is a command line. I'll try to get it. Okay, there is a command line using which you can convert in your R file to K6 script. Okay, so
Oh,
that you can do it as an alternate option.
okay, fine, Satish. And second question
Yeah.
is like when we say like running the script from the cloud,
Hmm.
right? I mean, we were running one script, right, from the cloud, and you thought like it was initializing then running.
Yeah.
So definitely there should be some LG on the background side, right? I mean, so is that all free or what? I mean, as of now, you just
For
ran
example,
with one single user.
yeah. See, for example, if I go to the script, uh, where is it? Where is it? Okay, if I go here and then say if I give 30 scripts, 30 user, okay, it will take a low LG from cloud. Okay, no question about it. But you can only run up to I think 5 user. Okay, it says that the number of iteration 20 can't be less than the number of users. Okay, that is different error. Okay, anyway, I'll give 30. Save. Okay, I think 30 is allowed. I think somewhere more than 50 or 55, it will not allow it to use it. Let me close it. Yeah, there's a limit. Okay, for since we are using using their trial, not a trial version, since we are not paying any license cost to them, you can use a cases cloud. You can run it for I think up to 50 users or 40 users something. You can run it. Um, and then you will be able to see the reports, but not more than that. Okay, there is a limit. Maybe in a single day you can probably run it for a certain amount of duration. That limit is there for, since it's a trial run. For our learning, it is all okay, but for actual execution, we cannot go with this option. So to answer your question, yes, there is a load generator that will be that will be made available for your execution for your using your trial run.
Okay, 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 okay. So, just last question, Satish. When we are running
Sure.
any test in a LoadRunner, right? So generally we install our LoadRunner agent in different LG machines, so that when we are starting the test from the controller, it will use that 4 5 LG, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here in
Correct.
K6, is there something like some agent is there that we will install in different VM machines or different machines, and it will be used as a load generator when we are running the test from K6?
No. So you will not have any load generator agent, but rather you have to install K6 itself in every mission. Okay. If you have five
Oh,
missions, all the five missions you have to install the your K6. Okay, and there is no distributed way of load testing here. Okay, there's no controller and slave or controller and load agent. Okay, everything is a controller only. Everything is a master, master only. So you have to start the test. If you want to use file load generator, or in all the file load generator, you have to install the K6, and you have to copy the script in each of the mission, and you have to run the uh, standalone test from each mission. Okay, that is a drawback. Okay, but from a reporting perspective, so we will, since if we are going to use the Influx TV and Grafana, the report will get consolidated into one view. Okay, so one report only you will get it in Grafana, but the test has to be started from five different missions. In each mission, you have to install the K6.
okay. So does it mean like if I need to run for 500 user and one machine is just supporting maximum 100, so 100 in each of the five machines, right?
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, okay. Thanks,
Yeah,
Satish.
that, yeah, those are the little drawback of open source tool. But and that is what the free versus commercial, right? With the free, you have to have you'll have certain boundaries, certain workaround you have to do it, but there is always going to be the gap between a licensed tool versus your open source tool. And K6, right? That is why they also provide a cloud option. You create a script. If at all you wanted to run it from a different geography, from US, from UK, you can pay money to K6, and then you will be able to extend that additional features that is available in the cloud.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anyone else have any other questions? Okay, so whoever registered, right, just ping me in the group or separately with your Gmail ID. I will give the access to this drive so that you can start downloading it and install it in your laptop. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions you have? Yeah, put it in the chat, or separately to me. I'll try to answer it. Or park your question for tomorrow at the beginning. We can. I'll happy to answer your question as well. Okay. Fine, guys. We'll meet tomorrow. I'm keeping it little short today because people are still trying to register. So we'll meet tomorrow.
Satish, I have one question.
Yeah,
Can we
yeah,
do the same using Postman also, the way you shown for Swagger API?
yeah. You see, Postman,
Yeah, I mean
uh,
Postman we have
you
a
can.
API, so
Yeah,
can we
yeah.
get that imported into K6 dashboard and then start working on that?
See, you have the reference Swagger. We have used it because it's an API documentation. We looked into the
Uh-huh.
get call, post call, and then we took those and built it in the cases. Similarly, if you have Postman collections, right? Your functional testing team has given you a Postman collection.
Right.
Okay? Uh, that will be your reference document. Instead of Swagger, you will look into the Postman. But converting a Postman collection into directly into K6, I don't know. I don't think it is there. But
Okay.
see, the reference is different. Is going to vary. Whether you are going to refer to the developer documentation is Swagger. Postman collections is probably your functional testing team. They would have looked into Swagger and they would have constructed the your requirements in Postman or their functional scripts in Postman, or sometimes development team, right? They will also use Postman itself to create the API documentation itself, right? So
Mhm.
either Swagger or Postman, you are going to get the requirements from that documentation or that collection. You will manually build it in the your K6 test builder in the app.k6.
Okay. In case of Postman, I need to build it manually. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, both. See, either way, you need to know what is a request, what
Yeah.
is your request body, your headers,
Parameters.
your authentication. That is what you need to know. For that, you need to look into Swagger, or you're going to look into the Postman collections, or sometimes you will even get those things in the email as well from your developer.
Yeah, I think we have a Postman collection, so we can import it and try to do it manually on the
Yes,
cases.
see, you're not going to import it. You're going to,
Export it.
yeah, you can import that Postman collection into your Postman local, and then you can
Yeah.
refer it, and then create a script in the test builder.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Thanks. Got it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fine. If
Satish,
there's no question,
just one
yeah,
last
go ahead,
thing.
go ahead, go ahead.
I've not registered it yet. I'm planning to do it tomorrow morning maybe, and hope this session will be more into practical. I mean, so that we all will be aware
Yes,
of like how, because I mean, if less theoretical, a little bit more practical, it will really help all of us guys to pick up the things in
actually,
K6, right?
there's no theoretical. Yeah, there's no
Okay,
theoretical at all. Actually,
great. Then
everything
great.
I
Yeah.
will be doing fully. Because there is no theory at all, right? There is no concepts you are going to teach. It's everything is going to be. I'm going to do it only. So yeah.
And okay, and it will be 2.5 week, right? I mean, as you said yesterday, nearly two and a
Yeah,
half
yeah,
weeks.
it will be close to, yeah, it will be close to 11, 12, 13 sessions, 2.5 week, two and a half week.
Okay, okay, fine. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Fine, guys, I'll stop the recording. We'll continue tomorrow.